Jazz here, and I am so digging the Geekcast radio network.
Greetings, humans. This is Starscream, and you're listening to Toycast. And if any of you call me a partsformer one more time...
Now, Toycast. Oh, yes. Listen in to the only toy podcast you will ever need.
Hello, folks. TF2 and Mike here. I just wanted to give a warning. This is a rant cast. These are going to be rantings of toy collecting, media, and otherwise, as well as dealing with purchasing said items at certain stores. So... as y'all know, I like giving people a voice here on the podcasts, and yeah, Random Hat Studio, along with FunEmployed, joined me once again, and we ranted about the GameStop situation. So there's that, and apparently I was wrong, as you'll hear in the episode, about this being a new thing. It hasn't been a new thing, apparently, so there's that, and this is gonna be kind of raw and unedited a little bit, so enjoy the next 2 hours. Thanks for listening. As always, keep playing with your toys. Hello, welcome to an all-new generation of Toycast. As we don't get all the questions and the fans and the stuff and the whatever, this is a Toycast rant episode. We haven't had one of these in a long time, folks, so I'm just going to say right now, the cursing is going to be a lot more than usual. So there will be an explicit tag on this show like there is on every other one of my shows, but GameStop in their infinite wisdom has decided to do something stupid as hell, apparently, which doesn't surprise me because it's GameStop. Hello. Like I already said, I'm TF2 and Mike. I'm barely awake. Joining me is Mr. FunEmployed himself. Hello, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm fucking fantastic.
See, folks? We're already in the fucking fantastic realm of GameStop. Oh, boy. And, yeah. So, why is this a Toycast episode, you might say, folks? Well, video games are toys. I don't care what anyone says. You play with them, they're toys. And plus, you know, you can buy Funko Pops and probably Funko sodas. I don't know. I haven't been on a GameStop in over a year and a half, so I wouldn't know if they carry sodas or not. But... GameStop, in their infinite wisdom, decided to do something about their return policy. And take it away, sir. You have the pulpit.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about this delicious journey, Mike. So we do these things called pre-orders from time to time. And there was, it's bad enough that you pre-order something and you know how GameStop's going to ship it. You have a chance to receive something from the warehouse, blessed be. Or you have a chance to receive it from the store itself, which you kind of pray for that now because they say they care more when they pack it, but they don't. I've watched how that works. So you pre-order something, say September, and you wait and they ship it, and then you get it and it's crushed because there's no love and care. And I'm talking like just pinball machine in the box, right? You get a box the size of the Grand Canyon with, 3-4 inch Funkos or whatever is in there. Could be a boat, whatever. And it's just bouncing around like a pool pinball machine, pool balls. So you go back to the store and you're like, yo, fam, I need to return this because, things happen. And they look at you and like, cool, is this an online order? And I say, well, yes, it is. And they look at me with like utmost terror. Like we're talking like 1970s Michael Myers terror, So the person, and every time I go into GameStop, it's always a fucking new trainee. And I don't fault them one bit because, again, they turnstile through employees more than a rotisserie chicken turns on a spit. So, outside of the 4 or 5 people that I've come to know, up here in the last 3 to 4 years, everybody else is fucking incompetent. So they always have to call somebody. They have to call a district manager. They have to call a senior manager. They have to call, KFC. I don't know. But they never seem to know how to do a return for an online order, right? So this is like the third time I've gone through this process. And it doesn't matter if it's like the downtown or the one in the mall, but I'll focus on the one in the mall in Bellingham specifically because they're complete asshats. So they made the fatal mistake this time of putting me on the phone with whatever the district manager is. I don't know if it's Stacy or whomever, but I think I took her name down.
Yeah, we don't need to. You don't need to reveal names.
You can bleep that, but either way, I don't really remember. It could have been Susan. I don't know. It's inconsequential.
Whatever.
She doesn't matter, right? But she matters in the sense of making me feel like a criminal because they could have made, whatever adjustments they need to make at point of sale. But anytime you do a return at GameStop, it's a constant game of back and forth. You give them the receipt. They tell you to go pound salt. You tell them to take the order back because customers told you. And they, once again, hand you a bottle of Morton salt. After about 10 minutes of trying to explain policy to the rep, and quoting the GameStop policy, which, to your point, except as provided below, unopened products, Funkos, and things like that of that nature now have a 7-day return policy. Well, to be fair, that's not a new policy. That's always been the policy. That's always what they've been instructed, right? So what they told me is that, sure, we can help you because that's what good customer service is, but because you ordered this in September, you're past the return date. I'm like, hold up. Now, meanwhile, there's, a family in there trying to buy games that were also on pre-order things. This was a very interesting conversation for them to listen into. And I explained to them, I said, listen here, young man, I'm twice your age. And, obviously I'm a little bit more skilled at math, but I said, I'll try to help you. I pre-ordered this in September and I can't return something if I've never received it. Well, I understand that, but the point I said, I understand what the point of sale system, and I understand it's how you're trained, but I said, think critically here. If I pre-order something today and I don't have it in stock, technically, if I were to return it, how can I return that which I do not have? Yeah. And it's not slated for a future dated time of X amount of weeks down the road, right? So after about 10 minutes, it finally broke through, and he's like, oh, I've got to call my manager. And I said, well, please do that, because that's what they have to do every time. I'm used to this. So 45 minutes go by. He goes, my district manager would like to speak with you. And I said, well, that's unprecedented, but okay, cool, And so she gets on the phone. Maybe, I don't know. We're just playing anonymous here, right? Mm-hmm. And proceeds to ask me how my day was as her opening question. And then before she could finish saying that she was about to regret that question, jokingly, she was seriously asking that, I professionally asked her what seems to be the problem because, went through the policy for the return, yada, 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 did everything I needed to do. And she didn't like that. And she said, well, I've talked to my manager. And I said, well, why would you have to talk to your manager for something as simple as a, $70 return? This seems absurd, right? And, after about 10 minutes or so, I gave her some very choice words professionally, no cursing, but, had to keep it PC because there was young children in the store.
Right.
I explained to her, I said, well, there's at least 4 or 5 other people in your district who seem to know the job better than you. And I said, why is it that I come to your store as a customer and I seem to know more about the job than you do? And I said, you seem to be the third alleged district manager that you've had in this area in the last 3 years. And I said, there only seems to be a problem every time there's a regime change. And so she quoted me policy, and I said, that's great. I quoted her policy back, and, my response essentially after talking with my significant other and everything was that, the skill and knowledge level used to be something in an employee who has somehow survived long enough to be a manager. But in today's world, I guess a high school degree, it's kind of like how it used to be a university degree was the baseline. Now that is the equivalent to a high school degree, and so on and so forth. And the district manager, didn't seem to like that very much in summation. So after chastising me for like about 10 minutes on the phone, she's like, we're done here. And I was like, well, we were done 20 minutes ago. I already told you what was going to happen. She goes, well, I told you what was going to happen. I said, well, that's great. I'll be letting corporate know. But I also know that, she goes, you aren't going to any of my other stores. I was like, well, I have a car and I'm on a mobile phone. I can absolutely go to another store. I said, and I, matter of fact, will, if I talk to the person that I know knows how to do their job. And so the end of the story is I got my justice, and we had to drive like 40 minutes out of the way to go to the next closest GameStop, where a very kind and knowledgeable manager on duty had already made a call for me to confirm policy, and their district manager gave them a completely different answer than what the young lady that I spoke to, and I used the term young lady, loosely. And I walked in, she goes, "You shop here all the time. Why was it such a problem up there?" Because she didn't know who I was when I called, right?
Right.
And I said, well, and I explained to her just 5 minutes what happened. She's like, "What the? No, this is simple. We just changed the date in the system to match the current date that you would have gotten the order in based on the shipping label, and we processed the damn return. It's that fucking simple. Why are, I don't understand why." And I was like, I don't either. I could have gone to Seattle and done this, but it's that, and that's the thing. Emily was telling me is key point here. She's been with the company long enough to know the ins and outs of the systems, Mike. So when you go into retail anymore, whether it's Walmart, Target, anything like that, they always quote policy for things, but they don't know their company. It's like, I'll give you a good example of this. And I know I'm on a bit of a rant, but this is all going to make sense, right?
Yeah.
Somebody, there was a big news story a couple weeks ago about the Stanley Cups. The pink Target Stanley Cups, Mike?
I know the blue one with Stan Lee, the comic creator, on it. That's what I know. Excelsior.
Not good old Stan, and not the hockey Stan.
Yeah.
This is the amazing Target pink Stanley Cups that were like Starbucks.
Yes.
So, funny story, right? This is about entitlement and just knowledge and appreciating company work and things going back to GameStop. So, in this one article that I was reading, I laughed because everybody was like, "Oh, those innocent workers, da da da." You know how you're not supposed to buy stuff and use your position and work to get an advantage over a customer, right?
Right, yeah.
So, if you take the story at face value, you would sympathize with the employee because they got fired from Target for buying a pink Starbucks Stanley Cup. And you would think, that seems awful, neglectful by the company. They've lost people of 20 years, yada, yada, yada. My first question is, well, wait a minute. Let's look deeper, right? You've been with a company for 20 fucking years, Mike.
Yep.
How do you not know the policy?
I know, right?
If you walk up to a counter and I say, "Mike, how are you today?" And you're like, "I'm freaking amazing, James. By the way, I happen to have some Stanley Cups here behind the counter. Would you like to buy one?" Well, yeah, Mike, that sounds fucking amazing. I would love to get one. They've sold out everywhere. How did you procure them? Well, James, I happen to not check them into the system yet because 2 online orders were canceled and they're sitting right here by my register. Would you like to get one now since you're on a corporate break for lunch and clocked out? Well, yeah, I would love to get that. Cool. I haven't put them on the counter for the customer yet. Give me just a moment to check them into the system and I will happily sell you one because I am a loyal Target/Starbucks employee. So, here you go, James. This is your cup. That'll be X amount of dollars because you're about to get fired. Cool. Hey, my manager's standing right here and she sees that I'm buying this cup as well and said it was okay. Oblivious to both of us that I'm buying something that, was not put out for the customer to see visibly first on the floor and give them a fair shot as well as myself coming off of said lunch hour. That's okay. Irrelevant. It's irrelevant, James. Yeah, cool. I got my cup. Thank you. 3 days pass. You and 6 other employees get shit canned. Oh, woe is me. I got shit canned from Target after being there for 20 years. I don't understand. This is corporate greed. Yada, yada, yada. Again, policy states you can't use your position to get a leg up over the customer, right?
The customer, right. Yeah.
So if those Target cups were put on the shelf before you as an employee were to go purchase said cup, then you would have no, argument against your company. You would be able to sue them for wrongful termination, right? Or at least, the very least, argue your case, right? Yeah. Now, the employees come back and said, well, we'll return the cup. But that's not the point. Target has at-will employment, discretion, policy, yada, yada, yada. My point is, if you're with somebody long enough and you're committed that much as those employees said they were in the article and everything else, you would know the policy and you would follow it, right? Yeah. So when it comes to GameStop, taking the long way back around, this policy has been on their website for a long time. These managers and these employees in a 100-mile radius, it only seems to be 2 specific stores in a single district in the Northwest. They all know the policy. They all know the systems, right? Because they've been there long enough. So when you have terrible customer service, and I'm talking like, I don't fault the people on the phone. They have their own job and script and everything. They're in their own ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
But when you put the customer in a way that they feel like they're treated like they're doing a crime for wanting to return something, and then you go to customer service is like, well, this is what the policy says. I'm like, I know, you've been here long enough, right? They're like, well, yeah, I've been here long enough. I've been here 3 years, but I've also got my buddy here who's been here 5 months, and even he knows the policy because it's in the script, and it tells him the same thing I'm telling you that I've learned for 3 years, But hey, if you want to return that stuff, we'll charge you $10. And I'm like, wait, what? And they're like,
what?
well, yeah. And they're like, but you can go to a store and return it. And I'm like, well, I just tried that. And so-and-so told me to go, have fun. And they're like, well, that's a darn shame, click.
Yeah. See, folks, it doesn't always pay to be fun employed.
No, it doesn't, but it pays to know how to get a resolution for something, right? But that's the thing with like, it permeates to other retailers. I know the focus on this primarily at first is GameStop, but
yeah,
if you work for something and you pay attention, you have loyalty to your company and everything else and things like that, you hope that your employees and your management specifically know what the policy is. I'm not asking for anything, a special exception or return policy. I'm just asking to do what's right for the customer, put customer first. And, my experience with GameStop, to your point, has been abysmal, and it's to the point now where I've canceled all pre-orders and everything else. And if I go into their store, I will go to one location now and shop if somebody's working. Otherwise, I'd rather pay a scalper or somebody else to go get it for me because I can't patron their locations. They make it too much of a hassle as a consumer to do anything, right? But that's also why they clearance out 3/4 of the location every week for, the terrible decisions of ThinkGeek and everything else that they've done over the years. I'm going to take a breath now. That's a lot. All
right. Well, folks, what you really should be doing every Wednesday night or every third Wednesday or whenever the hell it is going over to Whatnot and checking out certain auctions.
It won't be purchased from GameStop.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts? Seeing as how you've never stepped into a brick and mortar store for GameStop for a while, what was the last good experience you had?
I mean, jeez.
That's thinking deep. I used the word good in there and threw you off.
Yeah. Well, if I had gone in a week earlier, I would have gotten Unicron for $9 instead of the MSRP of $40.
Oof.
But it is what it is. I was going to buy it anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, the last time I was in there, like I said, it was probably a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. I went in and I got the Paul Bearer and Undertaker 2-pack. It's fairly simple. Just hand them with a thing. They scanned it. I slid my card and left. It was fairly, they were, cordial and nice and whatever. Like we weren't, shooting the shit or anything.
Stuff sounds easy, Mike.
Yeah, I've never tried to do returns at GameStop ever.
The last time the last time I went to McDonald's, it was a pleasant experience because I used a self-service kiosk and I didn't have to interact with a human. So we all have our pluses.
Those things are dirty as hell. Don't use those. I don't want you to die from that. There's too many germs on those.
I use the app, which is a whole different rant.
Oh. Okay, well, Oh boy. See, I thought the way that this was, because originally I saw this in an Instagram post about the new 7, and I'm like, oh, so the way that and I'll see if I can find the post, folks. I think I took a screenshot of it or whatever else.
Yeah.
And it was kind of specific to Funko Pops and Funko, and I'm like, oh really? Huh, interesting. The way it came across to me was there was a new right now. Is it right now? Usually at the end of the year, November, December, whatever, the end of every year, every website or everything that you have ever bought from or subscribed to or whatever, these are our new terms of service, or these are this, or this is that, or we're updating this, or like you'll get an email from Starbucks or whoever the hell saying, hey, we're updating stuff, or we're doing this. You need to pay attention to like, I thought this was something new. I didn't think that this was just the same old policy, just putting a polishing turd on it. Like, God, if this is the same policy they've had for years, then that just makes even worse sense.
Am I being conceited to think that post is oddly coincidental to my epic rant in
No.
location of a particular stance?
And trust me, folks.
Is if there are the people there to apply it properly.
That's true.
Their problem is staffing. It isn't a policy. It's the application of the policy.
That's also true.
Yeah, but GameStop staffing has always been an issue. I mean, people just don't want to work there. Apparently, they don't have fun.
I had the best time, Mike, on one of my return experiences a couple months back. Right, the awesome employee that I talked to, super cool dude, like 6'2". He clearly was not built for GameStop, right? You could tell this guy was going place.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he goes, "This is only my second day on the job." And I was like, "Oh, my sweet summer child. I am what I'm about to request of you." And, he couldn't do the transaction, but he was very upfront with it. And I said, "That's cool. I'll go to X location to get it done." Because at that time, the other competent person that was also friends of us that we knew was working. So it was an easy peasy swap, right? And they had a completely different district manager. Now, mind you, this is in a 5-month period. So again, turnstile.
Yeah.
He was gone within a week.
Oh.
Now the night that I was there too, it was very explicit to me that he had no vested interest in being in that position. This is like the second day on the job. He was at a mall of a GameStop during the holidays by himself as it's ramping into like end of October.
Uh-huh.
He was on like the stint of a 10-hour shift and he hadn't taken a lunch yet. Fast forward to like a month later when I had to go in and we were in the mall stopping by. During Black Friday week, the one lady that was a really awesome manager, I believe she was on her way to quitting or working up to quitting at the time to become a tattoo artist, but she was on her 11th hour because she was the opening manager and also the only person there all day with all the logistics and inventory and also the closing manager. And she had a break. We went and got her a Cinnabon and a coffee, which I found out it kept her up till 5 a.m. because she works 2 stores.
Wow.
She is no longer with the company, right? So, I mean, at some point people move on and it's good to see people move up and over, but you have a culture that, I've watched them berate customers, not just myself, but other people, and put them on the spot and everything. And the employees are just standing there like, I can't handle this. they're being told what to do by management on the phone. And they're not able to make those decisions autonomously in the store to do what's right for the customer because they're bootstrapped by a lack of knowledge and support from upper management. And then the ones you have that help you, right, they're like, "Man, this sucks. I'm out," And I'm like, "Well, it's been a good run." Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just making a joke here, and this is not a joking matter as far as some of these employees and their mental health and everything else, but I am sorry. If GameStop went out of business today, I would not miss the current Funko Pop exclusive GameStop sticker at all.
No, I don't think anybody would. But that's again, I don't want to see anybody out of a job, right?
No,
I understand completely where you're coming from.
They don't even tell you they're Funko there.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. When you walk in, they're like, "Look at how we rearranged everything." I'm like, "Yes, you made the clearance stickers more prominent. Good job." Yeah. But I mean, they're laughing with the customer at the expense of their company rather than, taking offense to it, right? Whereas if you were to walk into a Target, it's even worse, but that's a whole different rant, right?
Can I put it funny?
Oh, what's the funny note?
The funny note is every time we go in there, they talk to us about theft, but nobody ever steals the Funkos.
That's true.
They steal everything else in the store except for the Funkos.
And the best thing, Mike. I don't know what they could steal, man. I walked in and I saw the Loki like cosplay set that they had, and I was like, wow, that's neat. If I, liked toddler plastic, for, my,
Yeah.
it was $150. I'm like, nobody's going to steal this. Why are you worried about this being locked up? And I'm like, no, nobody's going to take that. The box looks better than the actual prop, But she's got a point. Like, nobody's going in. Like, I don't go to GameStop and be like, man, what could I thief today? It's not like the early days of GameStop where they used to have the boxes of the games on the shelf, right? Then what they did is they said, well, we sell the game new, but then they cleverly open it and then they put it in the drawer. And then I find out, like in the early 2000s, in the drawers, if they're open, the employees can take them home and play them and then bring them back and put them back in the disc. I'm like, no. So I started at Walmart, right? And then when you go in and you buy a pre-owned game, what it was a game that they opened, marked down $5 and sold as used pre-owned because it was one that the employees would buy and things like that. Like their whole Mike, I'm shocked that their entire system crumbled on them in the late 2000s. How could anybody ever predicted this to happen?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think anybody would miss. Again, no disrespect to any of the people that have worked at GameStop in the past or currently. Y'all are doing an amazing job for the crappy job that you're working at, but I don't think anybody would miss GameStop if it was gone.
No,
I really don't. Like, no. I mean, the only time I ever hear, besides Funko Pops, the only time I ever hear about stuff happening at GameStop is if a huge, like PS5 or Xbox S or X or whatever, or if something like Breath of the Wild comes out or what, like a big game or game system, because hello, they're a video game retailer. They should be a video game retailer first and a toy company or toy retailer second. But yeah, no, like the one story I remember is, because I'll always remember this because it was stupid as hell, the two guys getting into a fight in front of Target over, was it? I know it was Target, but I forget what Funko Pop they were fighting. I don't know, it was Jeffrey or something, which Jeffrey isn't even at Target. But I remember. Oh no, I know what it was. It wasn't Jeffrey, duh, because Jeffrey's from the. It was Twinkie the Kid. That's what the fuck it was.
Oh my! Are you serious? Twinkie the.
Yeah. These two guys. This is like back in 2019. This is before the pandemic.
Oh, my Lanta.
And there was a story about two people getting in a fight over a Twinkie the Kid Target exclusive Funko Pop because it was the last one.
The best part about that, there's two sad results of that. Number one, any one of us, and I would have done it too because in 2019 I was exceptionally cheeky, I would have gone to the snack aisle, grabbed a box, put toothpicks in it, and put a little cowboy hat from Toy Story on it and said, here you go, buddy. Second piece of that is fast forward 4 years later, and it's still only worth about $13.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I mean, Twinkie the Kid's an okay mascot, but he's not the best mascot. And I just recently bought a box of the chocolate Twinkies. I don't know what the hell Hostess or whoever the hell owns Twinkie nowadays, what the hell they did to that. That was the nastiest chocolate I have ever had in my entire life. Ugh. Twinkies suck.
Don't they have like a gold? Yeah, they have a gold Twinkie. Like the kid soda or something like that. It looks like a freaking suppository.
Yeah, it does.
Like he's got the rope and he's like, I'm gonna go clean these, and that's the size. That's the soda. Like,
so what's gonna happen now that Best Buy is getting out of physical media? Will that help or hurt GameStop?
Oh yeah, let's pivot to that, Mike, because she read my mind. What are your thoughts on GameStop liquidating the one thing that kept them anchored? I'm sorry, are they not one? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, GameStop and Best Buy are two separate entities. They're not the same company.
Yeah, no, they're not the same company.
They act like it. That's again just perception. Yeah, they're getting out of physical media too. So like GameStop, now's your chance. You can come back. You can redeem yourself.
No, they can't. There's no redeeming GameStop at this point.
Well, okay, so
as far as Best Buy goes, I mean, when's the last time I bought physical media at Best Buy?
when was the last time you bought anything at Best Buy? What do you remember as your singular purchase?
Let's see, singular. Well, I'll actually tell you, it's mounted on my wall in my bedroom right now. It's a sharp 55-inch whatever television. This is back in 2018.
Oh, I thought you said shark. I was
sharp,
saying,
not shark.
Wait, what?
Sharp.
Okay, the
P,
matters.
not a K. Yeah, P, not a K. No, if there was a 55-inch shark on my wall, I wouldn't be living here.
That would be outstanding, though.
Yeah, no, not really. So back in 2018, my late wife Karen, who passed away in 2021, we normally didn't really do the whole surprise gift thing where we'd be like, "What do you want? What do you want? Can we afford it? Can we afford it? Okay, not okay, whatever." She wanted a new laptop, and I wanted to eventually mount this in our bedroom, on our bedroom wall, because we had in the house that she owned at the time.
You gotta watch using the term mount, Mike.
Yeah. Honey guy. Mount the television on the wall.
55 inches is a lot to take.
Yeah, I'm not even going there. Can't even. Nope. Just nope.
I mean, you know your limits.
Big nope. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, because the bedroom in the house that she had owned, that we had this giant master bedroom, which is essentially pretty much half the house, it had built-in surround sound into it. So we were going to eventually mount it and have this amazing, whole entertainment system in the bedroom. And that didn't happen. And the TV ended up in storage for a couple of years. She ended up passing away. I ended up moving from, at the time, before apparently it devolved into the Pacific Ocean, I will say at the time when I left in 2022, the great state of Washington, apparently, I've heard rumors that it's not so great anymore, which I'm glad I got out when I did. I moved from there to Indiana, and I just looked up an electronics guy that was local there, and I'm like, look, I want this mounted on the wall. But the point, to bring it back around to Best Buy, is 2018 was the last time I purchased anything from Best Buy whatsoever. Before that, the last time I remember purchasing anything from Best Buy was probably 2008, because it usually took about a year or so for DVDs for movies to hit DVD. They released and this was really the only good thing about most of the Best Buy media releases when it came to DVD, Blu-ray, whatever you want to call it. They would do the Steelbook, or they would do the limited edition, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Well, they did it for Transformers 2007. And it was this giant transforming Optimus Prime case thing.
Oh, yeah,
it was,
I remember that.
Yeah. It was movie Optimus.
Megatron, too.
Yeah, yep. They had one for all three of them. Or they had three separate ones. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I mean... And the funny thing is since Karen passed in 2021, I find myself on the line of digital media and physical media, especially now since they're now in 2024. They're like, oh, well, you don't own this digital media. Even though you bought it from us, you don't own it. We can take it away from you at any time. I'm like, okay, fine. Give me the physical. I have, I don't know, new DVD collection, probably 10 different Blu-rays or 4K DVDs now. So, yeah, I'm back on the physical media train. But if I have to get it from Amazon or eBay or whatever, fine, because you ain't going to catch me. I'll be croaked on the outside of right before I get to open the door to Best Buy before I ever go in there again.
Well, you're in luck, because there's no reason to really go back to Best Buy. I mean, when we walk in there, it's basically an Amazon warehouse anyway. I go in there to, I go in there to look at what I would like to buy, and then I buy it elsewhere. Because
I thought that was Kohl's that was the Amazon warehouse, or is that just the returns?
well,
Graveyard.
that's the graveyard.
Yeah.
So Best Buy is having a run on their movies and physical media for CDs and things the last couple of weeks because they're getting out of the game this year, right? And so my rewards program with them, they're like, oh, well, you can sign. I'm like, I'm not signing up with shit with you folks. Yeah. I was like, this is like an abusive relationship. I now have an out. I'm using all my credit. I'm using all my money. I'm taking it and I'm running. I'm bringing the dog, the backpack of what I can carry, and I'm getting out of town. And they like trying to return stuff there was actually getting worse and worse because they kept changing their policy on their total tech and everything and making it to a point where like if you kind of like how GameStop, going back to trashing them for a bit.
Yeah,
they have everything tied now to their pro. Nobody goes to GameStop and says, "Man, I can't wait to renew my pro membership." We don't give a shit about your pro membership. You can't even give us you can't even afford a physical magazine to wipe my ass with, and you want to like tell me that one of the perks of getting your pro membership is that I'll get a subscription to Game Informer, which became irrelevant about 15 years ago, and
longer than that.
It'll be in a digital PDF, and you can't even put that out on time anyway. So I was like, why? And they're like, well, that $9 Unicron, like before the changes to Pro back in October, you could have gotten the Unicron for $9, walk in and be like, yeah, I'm a loyal customer. I hope you know how to do your job. I'd like to buy these things here, and then I maybe hopefully don't have to return them and experience excruciating pain. And then you would be very happy, right? Because you'd never have to step foot in the store. You got it for $9. Life goes on. Now, if you want that $9 deal, you have to spend $25 or whatever to have a pro membership. And someone would say, right. Well, you get access to, I was like, listen, I don't get early access to shit. And then second of all, if I do want to take advantage of any pro membership perks like those 30% off, 50% off, 90% off clearance, you have to order it online because none of the stores ever have anything in stock that you would want for said sales. And if they did, it's destroyed anyway, right? So I would just rather go buy it from a flea market or Facebook. And then they're like, but you get the $5 off coupon. And I'm like, well, that's fantastic. $5 of nothing is nothing. So I'm not going to spend it there. Therefore, it is not a perk for me, right? What else do I get? Well, video games. I'm like, the fuck am I going to buy a video game at your store when you charge absolute above MSRP and you can't even guarantee that my pre-order is going to come in right? You know, granted, everything's going digital, but like, I'd rather play it on a PC on Steam because at least, you know, customer policy and service on there, it's PC, it's mine.
And at least Steam abides by the sales that like.
Yeah, funny that.
You know, like I mean, they have 60% off, 70%, half off. Steam has all kinds of sales all the time throughout the year, and at least they abide by it.
The only advantage to physical media for games, and it's kind of funny how this works, right? So for movies, I gave away most of my early collections digital movies. I don't regret it because at that time you had movies anywhere. You had Vudu, you had Fandango, you had fucking Timbuktu. Yeah. Everybody had their hand in digital media, right? So it's like, well, unless there's a standard like through Google, iTunes, like I'm not getting into it. Here's a movie code, have at it, right? Mm-hmm. Now they do it the smart way. You get the digital code with the Blu-ray, yada, yada, yada. And Movies Anywhere pretty much is the de facto equivalent to iTunes, right? You redeem it and there it is. Now, besides Warner Brothers sucking ass and having a set finite time on their redemptions, so I've lost a couple movies there, you know, I accept that, but digital media for movies makes sense until you start seeing things get changed or whatever that, you know, and a low-hanging fruit, we'll use George Lucas and E.T. and Steven Spielberg and them, right, with Indiana Jones. But that's besides the point. When it comes to games on the other side of the spectrum, games are funny because GameStop, to me, is dead. They're like on life support and nobody wants to pull the plug, you know. You go to Steam and you say, wow, that game that GameStop has for like $60, Marvel Midnight Suns. The game's awesome, but it definitely isn't a $60 game. I can get it for like $10 on Steam in like 6 months. I'll wait till the fall sale, right? That's how people are trying to think now. Yep. And for good reason. It's funny though, because you go to like the Xbox store, right? Or the PlayStation store, and you would equate yourself to thinking, man, I can't wait to get these Steam sale deals aren't on the same Xbox? Yeah, this week on Xbox Live, get this game at $60 for $45 digital. And it's like, well, I suppose that's a good deal. But then if you wait and go to GameStop when they have their pre-owned sale, you can get that same game that's $45 to $60 on Xbox or PlayStation Store for $20 as a buy 3 get 1 free, right? So it's funny in the way that digital versus physical works, because digital is cheaper if you're a PC gamer. Hello, Master Race. If you are a console gamer, then you are screwed unless you take advantage of the physical market, right? Yeah. Because nobody wants to hang on to physical media. Now, if Microsoft and them get their hands on the same thought process as Steam does, physical media for games is dead, because there's no, like, now you've got a competitive market. That's why PC, hello again, is doing better, in my opinion, when it comes to gaming. But GameStop phased out PC games years ago because they're like, there's no money in it. They just haven't woken up to the fact that nobody gives a shit about GameStop when it comes to games at all either. They're just called Stop at the door, don't come in. And that's also equally true because most of the time when you go there, they're on lunch and the door's locked anyway. So you just be like, cool, you say, thank you, Stop. That's awesome. And you keep on walking. You go to Hot Topic across the street.
That's right.
Yo, Joe, and welcome to the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast, where a punk rock band of brothers get together to talk about one of our shared loves, toy collecting.
Toy hunt by day, punk rock band by night. We'll take any excuse to get in the van.
We all collect different toy lines like those real American heroes. G.I. Joe! To the toys that are more than meets the eye, Transformers.
To He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
From vintage to modern and all topics in between, you can always expect some rowdy and passionate discussion because we love talking toys here on the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast.
Hey toy fans, this is John, also known as Iacon Dispatch. You can find me on pretty much every social network at Iacon Dispatch, where I share cool Transformers and Star Wars stuff that I like. Thanks so much to the great people at Geekcast Radio Network for putting this awesome project together and for once again letting me contribute to it. Definitely had a lot of fun with it. Take it easy, everyone, and I'll see you around online.
Hey, it's Wes from Poppin' Off Toys. Wanted to let you know about poppinofftoys.com. We can be your number one source for Funko collectible figures to add to your ever-growing collection. If you're in Nashville, Tennessee, we actually have a retail store that you can come by, 5916 Charlotte Pike. And for the rest of us, poppinofftoys.com is always open, and you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. And the name is just simply Poppin' Off Toys. Thank you so much, and always keep it poppin'.
Absolutely. And sometimes Hot Topic has better sales on Funko Pops than GameStop does.
I'm pretty sure Hot Topic probably has better deals on games, and they don't even sell them. That's how amazing Hot Topic is.
Yep, absolutely. Oh boy, GameStop, what are you doing? There's been a lot of things lately in the news and just toy collecting and otherwise. It doesn't matter what it is, but just in the news where it's like, I feel like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck arguing in front of Elmer Fudd. Would you like to shoot him now or wait till you get home? Shoot him now. Shoot him now. You quiet you. He doesn't have to shoot you now. He does too have to shoot me now. So shoot me now. Like, I
was thinking more of them pulling the sign off of the.
Yeah, no. This is not Wabbit season, duck season. No.
But I like your analogy better. But the other one was also floating around in my head.
Shoot me now.
Who besides GameStop pisses you off, Mike? Let's just go down the rabbit hole.
Honestly, I was just like, the reason why I thought, like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh. Here we go again with GameStop, because I thought it was a new thing. I didn't realize it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't realize it wasn't new. And then you went through. I wonder how long it took you to type all that into Instagram chat message, folks. You should have seen when he spewed at me.
There was some very much passion into the voice chat that I was expressing. I went back and made tweaks because of the OCD grammar, but that was voice chat. I'm not going to try. If I was on the computer, I would have just typed it out.
It's keyboard warrior. That's right. Oh God. I understand that they went towards more of being a pop culture store than a video game store. But if that was the case, okay, when you go into a closet that's a GameStop, and I'm not talking about the closets that are in the mall, I'm talking about the actual stores that are in actual like mini shopping center places. The first thing I see normally is I'll see maybe one or two game demo things. I'll see a bunch of games on the wall. I'll look to the left or the right or whatever, and there's the Funko Pop wall. Okay, go away, video games. Like.
Your experience is completely different. When I walk into a GameStop, the first thing I see is the clearance rack at the beginning of the store, right?
Okay, well, yes, there is that.
But that immediately sets the tone, because then when I walk in, I've never seen a game station in any of the GameStops that I've looked at. They've taken them out because of anti-theft. They have a TV that plays propaganda up on their wall for like this, 2.5D over-the-shoulder Nintendo Switch RPG or whatever it is, of flavor of the month Nintendo. I never see any games except for empty boxes or a couple like, plastic display pieces. And it's usually like carnival level toys that are just everywhere. Like the GameStop that we peruse in our store, like the plaza down here, is usually, it's like the anchor store. So if like they took it out, the whole plaza would collapse. That's kind of like the last thing keeping it alive. You walk in and you're just like, this is sad. I feel depressed now.
And the closet. See ya.
The Funkos are in the back right of the store, next to a wall. Like we walked in, I think it was a year ago. They had the Ghostbusters movie, right? We all love the Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yep.
And we're like, man, the little one would really love this miniature Stay Puft. It's like the size of your thumbnail, right? But whatever. And you're like, oh, it comes in this marshmallow toxic glue thing or the squishy glue thing. I'm getting ahead of myself when I say the word toxic. And it's like, oh, this is so cool. Let me wring one out. And then we get to the car, and it's like, oh God, what the fuck is that smell? Like, it's terrible, and it's chemical. It burns, and like you can see the skin turning red and stuff. And then you like immediately get a headache, right? Imagine you're in kindergarten, right?
Yep.
And they've legalized sniffing glue.
Yeah.
6 years old. You're sitting at the table, and you're like, you know what? The playground was a fucking rough day today. I need a hit. And so you grab the Elmer's glue stick and you just take the biggest whiff of that stick. And you're just flying high at 6 years old in the playground for like a half hour, but you got not care in the world, right? And, that is basically what happened. But to us, all three as a family in the car in like a 30-second span, as soon as opening that thing out and trying to like get it back in, because it went everywhere, Mike. It was literally liquid, what are the cement, liquid, or whatever that.
It was like slime.
It was a slime, but it was like what's that super powerful glue they used to use in school and stuff? It had like a wand in it, and you would take it out, and it was like not Elmer's, but like the more powerful stuff. That kind of glue. That's literally what this was in like a white slime form. Come to find out, GameStop was selling a toxic toy, and it was well known. And it was a huge recall. Like, you go on Amazon and look for these things, and people were like, no. It's like, if there was a negative review, that product had it, right? The mini Stay Puffs with the slime.
Yeah.
It was, like, actually hurting people.
And
GameStop's like, that's cool. We had one manager there that was like, oh, my gosh, yeah, I see this. Like, they gave us a refund exchange. They helped us out, everything. They pulled, like, all 20 of them off the shelf. They kept it for their manager. We went in a week later. They're all back on the shelf. They
put them to the other store.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm sorry. They took them off the shelf. They put them. They took them to the other GameStop location south of us and sold them there. And so we walk in and we're like, hey, did you guys hear about that? Yeah, these came in from Bellingham. Well, they didn't tell us why. They just hear. I'm like, oh, let me tell you a story. So they called their manager. And so they pulled them off the shelf there. Now, I don't know if they got shipped back north or what, but GameStop's answer to, customer safety, and especially that of a little one, because these were advertised for kids like 3 and up, mind you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it's on Amazon, little mini Stay Puft with the slime, public service warning, it's toxic glue is what, it's pure glue. Like, don't let a 6-year-old or a 3-year-old, anybody touch this. You will get a contact high like you never believed. I had such a headache, Mike, like, I've never done hard drugs, but I assume that that's what it probably felt like if I had to come off such a cocaine high. Like, it was that bad. And it was only the size of, like, the container wasn't much bigger than, like, your two thumbs put together. But GameStop's policy for customer safety was completely thrown out the window for that, too. So I have no respect. I have respect for the employees that work there, but I have no respect for the way they treat the customer or their upper management or anything like that, right? Circling back to movies and stuff, in that whole process that I was at the stores any time during that incident or anything else, I've never walked into GameStop and said, what can I buy here today? Because I go there to see what's left. Like, that's, thank you. I'm a vulture. So like, and then I walk out and they're like, you can hear them like, have a good day. I'm like, yeah, that's help.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, like if Funko did not do GameStop exclusives, I probably would not have been in any of those stores in the past.
Well, we found out they do. They do them at HQ. You can go to GameStop. You can go get your exclusives for GameStop or any of them at HQ now. We picked up all kinds of stuff from GameStop, like, turns out 2 weeks ahead of time. Hot Topic, all of them. Like, I have no need to go to a retailer unless I'm super desperate or I need to do an exchange for a damaged pop that I found at HQ early, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, you're at the mercy of what I want to do now, not the other way around. Ha 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 ha.
Well, you're lucky enough to live close enough to HQ to do that.
Yeah, once we relocate or do anything of the sort,
you're screwed.
That becomes a non-option. But
yeah,
I'll take full advantage of where I can.
Yeah, exactly. Not unless you want to, waste a bunch of money and rack up some airline miles traveling back and forth.
I mean, sometimes that might be a thing. They're going to probably move that to Arizona anyhow, so,
I love how Funko started out in the Pacific Northwest only to end up dead in the desert. Look, it's a landfill, everybody.
Yeah.
Quicker access to the landfill.
You saw what happened at the end of Breaking Bad, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to be out there with the barrels of money.
Yep. Just like that Jason, whatever the hell his name is. Oh, God, that thing is ugly. I don't mind supporting that charity, but I would not buy that Funko Pop.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I was going to get one just like for the novelty. And then Twitter was like, sorry, not Twitter, but the Funko Twitter was like, you have X amount of time to get this pre-ordered. I'm like, I do, huh? Click. Oh, well, that tweet was an hour late. That's cool. But, I would have gotten it for the uniqueness, but the problem is it's not shipping till July. And then it's like, well, if we relocate or do anything different, like, how do I change my address? Can I update my address? What do I do if I need to circulate it elsewhere, right? At least things like drop and stuff, I can go in and make an address change or something,
No, not drop.
But
not drop. I heard that.
Speaking of customer service.
Yeah, there's only one company worse than GameStop, Mike. And it's not Funko. That's low-hanging fruit.
Oh,
where are you go on this journey? You're,
Hey, if I have to get stuff off the secondary market, I don't care at this point. As long as I'm not paying I understand they all have value. I understand they all have a monetary value. That's fine. But there's a certain line that I draw. It's only for certain characters where I'm like, I can't go over this because if I do, I'm going to be screwed. And one Funko Pop is not worth all of that.
Well, no, but I mean, that's the thing. Everybody has their limit. They know what they want. And like you said, they all have a value, right? I don't go to GameStop thinking, man, if I don't get that pop at GameStop, I'm fucked.
Exactly.
That time, unless the Sonic Super Shadow 2-pack again comes out or whatever, which is like pre-order or whatever, like that, unless that is like the next big hot thing, which Sonic is about the only thing they've got going for them. There's nothing at GameStop like there used to be with the Death Stranding and God of War thing, like those old gamer pop. Like there's nothing that they really have that's like, oh man. Not even like the Yu-Gi-Oh pops. It's like whatever, you can get those anywhere. Like the 6-inch ones they got. Like there's nothing exclusive to GameStop that I couldn't get better and cheaper. And I'd rather buy it on a secondary market anyway from somebody I know, or do the vetting myself, because then I know the box quality is not going to be complete shite. By the time you spend the time and effort to go through the hassle of doing it yourself, it's actually better to pay the secondary market the fees, because that cost is baked in with your gas. It's already baked into the shipping and stuff that they're doing. They're doing all the legwork. You just have to click a button and maybe scroll through some photos and be like, yeah, this guy's good. He's got 6,000 rating. He's not going to screw me, and he's going to pack it in a protector, and it's going to get here. And if something does unfortunately happen, I'm not out anything because there's protection policy, right? Yep. You do that same thought process with GameStop. You flip through some digital promo figures, and you're like, man, I hope this thing doesn't fucking suck. And then, man, I hope it's packed good. $10 for shipping because I didn't hit the $59.99. Oh, crap. Okay. You wait 6 months and you get it. And you're like, who the hell sat on it? And then you go into the store and you spend 45 minutes to an hour getting accosted by a district manager who you just want to just punch in the face, but you just want to do a return, right? I would have even done an exchange, but they, An
exchange being a punch to the face.
Yeah, an exchange. No, I was going to do an exchange for an actual pop, and I was like, no, screw you. I'm better than this.
Exactly.
I'm with you. Now, that being said, there are a lot of the pops that GameStop has that, you go to certain places in the secondary market that it's better to do it that way because you get it for $3 or $2, right? Certain sellers on certain platforms have tanked the market to a point where they have made that platform the Walmart of Funkos, right? And so,
it depends on which auctions you're in.
Well,
I can tell you that right now, but because the reason why I will say this is I was in an auction. This is over a year ago, and I had already got from this auction 3 of the are there 6 black and white TMNT comic chases?
Yeah,
I think there's 6 chases total. So 4 turtles, Casey and Shredder. I already had in my collection 2 of the turtles. I insert whichever names, I don't remember. They're all black and white. It doesn't matter. They all have red bandanas. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter until 1987 when they actually got color bandanas, which is superior. Anyway, so Funko Pop toy, blah, 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 black and white comic chases for turtles. The seller, who was a friend of mine, whatever else, they had at the time in their auction, they had 3 of the ones that I still needed. The lovely chat room in the auction noticed that I was going after these things, and they made me pay for it.
That's devious.
Yeah, well, so the first 2, again, out of the 6, I don't remember which was which. I think it was Leonardo, Casey, and Shredder, maybe. I'd have to look at the old slip if I even have the old slip. I usually throw those out.
Yeah.
So anyway, I paid for the first 2, and the first 2 were fine. It was like $25, $30, fine. I know some of these whatnot auctions are going to go at least that high. That's fine. The last one was like, oh, you need to pay $74 because everybody has finally realized that you need to complete your set. I'm like, oh, Christ, it's a good thing I had the money at the time. But yeah, you're right. Some of these auctions on whatnot, you look at a mystery tag, pay $10, and you get a like $500 autograph. That's great, awesome, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to that one we had a year or so ago. I had that happen when I was going for the TMNT autographs for the first set of them that I have, right?
Right.
And I got all but Leonardo. And the very last one, the guy bid it up like to some absurd amount. We're talking like probably $200-$300. And the guy that was running the auction was like, "Listen, I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to give it to you for this price because I know what the other guy was doing, and that's not right." You know what I mean? And so you've got some honest people out there that are like, and again, it's one of those things where like that dude had no idea what he was doing. I wasn't asking for any favors, but at the same time, it's like, have some respect. You see somebody's going after a set of something like that. If you legitimately need that one, that's one thing, right? But you know what you're doing. That's it's very bullish. And then
it is, but I just found that funny because at the time when I was going for the black ones, I mean,
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but that's where I mean, what I'm referring to when I'm talking like the bottom of the bottom is when you have such a massive volume of, and I'm not going to name specifics or anything. I'm just
no.
It's one of those things where it's like there are certain retailers that have such a massive influx of common pops, like the GameStop pops that you would see for $10-15.
Yeah,
they can take the hit on selling it for $3 on their auction. And if it comes to you damaged and you report it, they're going to just write it off. You know what I mean? Yeah. They don't. The problem with that is that when you become the Walmart of a platform, you drive out the smaller, more honest sellers, right? And so you risk as a platform with Whatnot and things like that of alienating lower and, not lesser quality, but your smaller sellers, right?
Yeah.
From trying to make a name for themselves and so forth. And I'm not putting that as like we're struggling or anything, because we're not. I'm just simply analyzing the market from my own experience. So like when it comes to GameStop, there's nothing in GameStop that I would want that I couldn't get elsewhere for cheaper. And by that same token, going into those auctions, usually when I go in there, I'm looking for those deals because they have such a large quantity of things that they're not, a lot of times they don't even know what they're running. And it's just, you can get a great deal with something. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Not for resale, but because I don't want to deal with GameStop. You know what I mean? Like, I gravitate towards those auctions because I don't want to deal with GameStop.
And look, I will say specifically the Whatnot auctions are great. Most of the time, 90% of my experience with it has been great. There's only been... so again, going to YouTube and everything else, I watch a bunch of YouTube Funko creators like Slapshot Pops and Pop and Duo and Professor Josh and all this and all that. I will buy anything from any of those three creators, whatever it is, as long as it's something I want and they have it, I will buy it from them as long as I can get it at a decent price. And when I say decent price, I get it. You do $1 starts, you do $3 starts, you do $5 starts. If people are going to bid it up, fine. To me, whatever that ends up being, and you guys can talk about this because you're Whatnot sellers. Let's say, what am I going to use for an example? Okay, I know this would go for more money than what it's whatever, but I'm looking at my Top Pops Tristan U2's figure. If you all had one of those that was mint in the box, it would probably go for an enormous amount of money, whatever. But my point in making that or hell, Cyclops Funko Soda Chase. Let's say that goes for $50-$60. Hey, I look at that as saying I'm getting a cool ass soda, and the people I'm buying it from are getting paid. Whatever I don't know what the percentages are versus what Whatnot takes versus what you all get. And if you want to say, you can say. If you don't want to say, you don't have to say. But I would much rather support people and buy from people I know than, number one, buy from strangers on Mercari that I don't know, even if they have a great seller rating, or eBay or whatever. I'm at the point. Exactly. I'm at the point now in my collecting, if I'm buying anything, as long as I can source it from whichever person that I know, or if they can put me in touch with somebody who has something that I want, I would rather do that than actually go into any store and buy it off the shelf. Because, man, this toy collecting stuff, folks, it's a hard knocks life sometimes out here with these stop stores and stuff.
Well, in a lot of those stores, Mike, they have to have toys in order for you to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw a video from a couple years ago where a Walmart actually had things on a shelf. I'm like, oh man, I remember those days. And there was actual people working there too, and it was all clean and tidy, and you didn't have snot on the floor or puke on the shelves and boxes and things. Now you walk in, it's like, all right, kids, lock and load.
That's right.
This way. And watch out for the landmines in the middle of the matchbox aisle. Go. Yeah, and there's not I almost ran over two kids today just because they wouldn't move, and I was stuck because one was behind me and the other one was in front of me, and the mom's sitting there just bent over, almost in tears, just trying to figure out life. And I'm like, are you okay? You know? And she eventually gathered up her little kid and everything and moved. She didn't speak English, so I was at a disadvantage. But it felt bad because it's just like that's the kind of sadness Walmart brings, you know. And I felt better when I left the store. So, you know, but they didn't have anything in the time that I was in there in the shelves. It's like all bare. Like the tags are just like, here's something you could have bought and it would have been this price.
Well, I think there's a loss in faith between Funko and their distributors. That's a big part of it because Funko is silently putting all their once exclusives with the stickers at HQ, and they're not showing up on the shelves of, say, the Target as much or the Walmart or that kind of thing. So I think there's like a quiet quit between the partnership, honestly.
Yeah. And honestly, it's probably a good thing because I would as long as I can get it, okay, and Jason Kelsey notwithstanding, because holy crap, but because I'm sorry, okay, again, like I said a little while ago in the episode, I don't mind directly supporting whichever charity it was that they were going to be supporting by selling the Jason Kelsey Funko Pop, but the Jason Kelsey Funko Pop itself, I do not need some white guy with his hands out, a beer in one hand, and looks like he's screaming with Funko shaved into his chest hair. Like, I don't need that in my life. I really don't.
Really shaved into his chest hair?
You didn't see that?
Fuck, I missed out on an opportunity. That would have been the ultimate Freddy head swap.
Yes, it would have been.
Could you imagine an underage Freddy with a beer in both hands and like an emblazoned Freddy hair chest?
I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm making. Yeah, I don't think I'm making that up. I'm pretty sure because everybody was talking about his stupid hat.
I'm gonna do a Freddy head swap with one of those.
Everybody was talking about his stupid hat because they're like, oh, it can't say the Chiefs on it because then you get the Kansas City Chiefs involved, and then they're gonna want a cut of the charity money and blah 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 blah, which I'm sure the Chiefs would not take that big of a cut from charity. Yes,
Mike, we're gonna. I got the Mariotti 2-pack. We're gonna do a Mariotti head swap.
Oh no!
The house. They have me smashing the beers into his head.
Oh my God! If you're
going to Arizona,
if you're gonna do that, at least use Mike Becker. Mariotti has enough problems.
Mike Becker looks like the Green Goblin without the mask. He's got that William Dafoe, but like
he does.
Without William Dafoe.
My God, why is it?
I would love to meet the guy and shake his hand, and be like, dude, you're my like. If there's ever like a
you're gonna say let me see your chest hair.
Yeah.
Can you just go like this and like pull the shit like almost like you're gonna Superman it but not, and I need to get a photo for a thank you and then autograph. He does have the wildest face. Like if they could just take I feel like if you could just take the Green Goblin, the metallic Green Goblin pop from the movie with Dafoe, and just turn that in with the mask, mind you, not the the maskless version. And just put that as a Becker pop, like that's his facial structure. He looks, he's got that chin line.
Yes, he deserves a goblin butt though.
Like that's true though.
Goblin has a mighty fine butt.
Yes, they did his derriere nice. The second runner-up being the Robert Pattinson Batman from Pop in a Box.
What about Slimer?
That's just terrible.
That's for fun when he does a pop myself.
Oh, maybe I'm lying because I'm looking at the picture on. Maybe it was that's what it was. It was the concept. It doesn't actually. I swear. Right. I saw somewhere online, Instagram, I swear somebody had put Funko in. I'm looking at the website, out of stock, $25. But it does not. Damn.
Oh, lies and deception.
No, they did the derriere for Slimer on the Stay Puft Mini set, the mystery figures for the new movie that's coming out. That's what. God. That's a whole different bag of nightmares.
Vinyl gold and rewinds. No, thank you. Get the hell at Popsies. Blah.
They're going in with more Popsies this year, though. They're going in with more obscure things. All things that GameStop will never carry. So we can be thankful for that. I mean, it's I don't know. I don't go to GameStop for collectibles. It's in the same way that I don't go to like Walmart for groceries, though. Yeah. I actually don't go to Walmart for much of anything, really. I think we picked up a bag of chips and some sticky notes. How's that for, I don't know. Like, this discussion has been very therapeutic because now I'm all bad on fury against GameStop. I just feel bad for them now. I just want them to die.
They're still dropped.
Yeah, they're still dropped.
Yeah, I don't. Look, I don't mind the physical side, and this is how I think most everyone feels about it. I don't mind the physical side of NFTs, but the NFT process in general just sucks in order to get the physical thing. Like,
so you have a company who says, listen, we have a really cool concept, right? Throw all this bullshit out with like the kitty pedophile looking crow Playmobil rewind figures, right? Get those out of here. We're past that now. Yeah. Get rid of the Popsies that you click a button and people just throw them in the trash. No, we're going NFTs, baby. So you have a company that has that kind of forward thinking mentality, right? And they have unlimited licenses at their disposal. And not for long, right? They have licenses available. And so, over the last year or so, you've noticed probably the decline in like demand for that. Like, think GameStop, but on nuclear level. So you go to buy a pack, and I'm gonna skip over all the BS that's involved. Just assume you buy a pack, right? You're like, wow, this is awesome. And NFTs itself it's an awesome, like, the way they've done the digital collectibles is an awesome concept, right? Concept, execution, two different things.
Right.
So a year ago, if you were to launch a series that was well respected or new, even if it was complete shite like Hanna-Barbera or whatever, the first run that they did with the character selection, right? Not the series. Hanna-Barbera is awesome, but their character selection was terrible. They would sell out. Like, the packs you'd burn maybe like 1,000 packs or something. You're like, whatever, it's a minor hit. We got most of them sold. Now they're like burning 50, 40, 50, 60% of their packs, and the demand is not there. So what do? They double down. They keep making more high value, high count releases. And then, like, today they had the Spastic Plastic, and you're like, well, that's a very niche thing, even more niche than like Steven Universe and stuff. It's like, yeah, but the Spastic Plastic is like one of their mascot. They did some really neat things with it, yada, yada, yada. But they, instead of making it a limited 15,000 per pack release like they would have done with the April Fools and some of the more niche things that Funko exclusive specific characters would have done, they made 30,000, Mike. And then they're like, well, normally after like 2 hours they would burn and close the auction down. Mm-hmm. The sale was such shit that not only did the last 3 drops burn 50% of the packs and extend the drop to like an extra hour to redeem, the redemption period, I kid you not, for today's packs went for 7 hours, and they still burned almost half the packs. Now, as someone who figured out the NFT system and enjoys the collectibles and things regardless of whether they're shit or not, because I like the NFT series, I will say that's a business problem, because it, like, on paper, I made a lot of money, but you still lost and burned half your product. You're still going to manufacture those pops because you've committed to it, right? It's not like you're going to the manufacturer saying, well, we only redeemed X amount, time to make this one. I'm pretty sure they committed to that. That's why that whole Arizona scandal happened, because they had those pops out there, right? Yeah. They exist somewhere. But then you talk about, to your point, and this is the rant portion, right? Mm-hmm. Fuck, here we go. They I'm 5 redemptions in. So the first, now, granted, I had a little bit of a hiccup with Star Trek 2 years ago, whatever. They got that fixed lickety split. You're like, wow, this is great. Like early GameStop, right? Customer service, peak level performance, everything's functioning perfectly good. Fast forward a year later, they got lackadaisical. So I had my entire Sid and Marty Krofft right at the time he passed away. Like the whole thing was obliterating shipping. Somebody got pissed and just destroyed the box. And I was like, okay, guys, what's up? Help me out here. Based on previous examples, I was expecting them to help me. 4 months later, I got them replaced, right? Now, at that point, I've received House of Dragon, all completely crushed. Game of Thrones, over half of them crushed. The Steven Universe, crushed. Hanna-Barbera, over half of them crushed. And then my Game of Thrones pops, crushed. And my Dungeons and Dragons, all but the High Elf Freddy, crushed, right? So I've gone through like 5 redemption periods now where they've all been destroyed. Even my Adventure Time one, Lady Rainicorn, suffered massive damage, right? And they have improved their packaging. Like, they've got new packaging and things now. But you've now narrowed it down to being somebody's complete asshole at the warehouse where they're just like, I fucking hate NFTs. And they crush the box, then they pack it very gently in the box and send it to you, right? Yeah. And so you don't know that it's damaged until you open it. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff that really, again, to GameStop, ticks people off because you don't even do a quality control at your warehouse to make it enjoyable. And Funko even came out and said, we're going to include protectors now with all of your shipments. Really? Fucking when? Are you retroactively doing it? Because the last 4 fucking redemptions you shipped me have been destroyed. Blessed that my Batman Dark Knight Rises NFTs all came in mint condition. That's the exception out of 6 redemptions, right? But at what point when you say you're going to do these things, do you actually fucking execute on it? And then...
One out of 6 is not good odds.
Yeah, and then you come out and you're like in your 7th redemption in a row where you've burned 40% of your packs. You kind of have to ask yourself as a company, what the fuck am I doing? Pretty soon they're going to invest in a movie theater and it's going to become a meme stock and they're going to get amped up. I'm talking about GameStop, but that's where Funko's going.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I should say Drop, but Drop is an extension of Funko.
Yeah.
So...
And the crazy thing about the whole... Okay, so we know, as Funko collectors, we know if we go on Funko.com, for $8 additional United States dollars, you can buy...
Mike.
What?
Don't get me fucking started on this. You talk about the gift box? Are you talking about the piece of shit gift box?
Not the... What? Are they gift boxes or are they hard stacks? I mean... I don't remember.
Because I'm just making sure. Because fuck, gift box can go shove one.
Okay, well,
I'll let you finish now. I got stopped. Good.
I might get into that. I haven't heard about this gift box stuff, but
let me you. No, I'll shut up now. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'm listening.
Okay, so you spend whatever it is for one of the Funko branded pop hard stack things, so you get that in addition to your pop. Right. The one time that I've purchased this is, I don't even remember what pop it was, but this was before they started doing their amazing cardboard sorters. Yay! This is back when they were still using literally less than 2% grade bubble wrap.
Yeah, craft paper.
Yeah, pretty much. The pop came in the box, but it wasn't in the hard stack. I mean, how hard is that, Funko? How fucking hard is it?
Crushed it, right?
Huh? Yeah.
The hard stack is what ended up crushing it?
I don't know what ended up crushing it, but it ended up not good. Good thing I, didn't really care. I was going to have it out of box anyway, but it's just one of those things where if you're telling me that I can buy one of your products on your website, Funko, and whatever product that is, whatever license, whatever line, whatever, let's just say Funko Pop, because that's what usually hard stacks are for. But whatever license, whatever, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, idiot man who purchases stuff on Funko's website, whatever, if you're going to tell me I can purchase a protector for my item, then the goddamn item better ship in the protector.
Yep. You know who else did that, Mike? Walmart. Who else doesn't sell Funkos anymore?
Walmart. Oh, Walmart. Oh, Lord. So, funny thing about Walmart is, I wasn't sure how this was going to play out. I think this was it was last year, either right before or right after my birthday. Well, God, I need to look at that box again. The Rodimus and Galvatron Transformers 2-pack that was the GameStop. It was GameStop. It wasn't Walmart.
GameStop.
It was Okay, it's fine. It's bringing it back around. Point is, I had enough money in my budget to get it, but I had already told somebody, hey, I'd like to get this for my birthday or whatever the hell it was or whatever. And that person was like, at one point or another, was like, what's your address or what's this or actually, no, it was my buddy Alex, and I love you, Alex, to death. He, after I got my copy of the damn thing, which the box that I got, the shipping box, was damaged all to hell, but the pop was fine. But the pop was basically in crate paper from GameStop. Literally, no bubble wrap, no nothing. And it was in a box that was like so goddamn like I could barely get the pop out. I'm like, what the hell are you people doing? And the one that he purchased for so I already had mine. I was already excited about it. I already had it. Like the next night, he messages me and says, "Oh yeah, you should have a delivery outside your apartment." I'm like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" Okay, I go out and I get another box, and there's a box from GameStop. What did he do? So I basically have in and out of box Rodimus and I have basically 2 copies of the Rodimus and Galvatron 2-pack, which is fine. Absolutely, he wanted to get me a gift, whatever. That's I'm absolutely appreciative of that. And that isn't the problem. The problem is, how in the world did GameStop's warehouse or multiple warehouses that GameStop may own? How did they screw up one box and not screw up the other one? Now, I will say that... What?
Well, they pack some of them at the warehouse and some of them at the store. And it's up to the discretion of whoever's packing it, is what we were told.
We've seen them packing them at the store for customers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bad.
They pull it off the shelf at the store.
You should be out of business. No. If you are selling something on... Okay.
Why do you think Hot Topic had that huge scandal about a year ago or so with chases? So let me to give you an example of context on how it varies depending on warehouse or store. Mm-hmm. So when you order something from Hot Topic, you have to pay attention to where it comes from. If you get a distribution center, you have a good chance of getting a chase. If they fulfill your order from a store and ship it to home, which is what they can want to do from time to time, you are not getting a chase. They pull that from the store inventory and send it to you. And the stores do not send the chases to people. They send the regular pops. They keep the chases for their stores. Right. So people came and caught on to this real quick, and everybody that got a chase got their order from a warehouse. Everybody else that didn't get a chase, they saw that they took a sample size on Reddit, because Reddit does math like this like nobody's business. And like 2,000 some people, they had like 3/4 of them got their orders from stores, and they were all non-chases. Everybody else that got their chases from their order got them from a warehouse, right? Yeah. So they come to find out like that was one of the reasons, because the stores were selling from shelf. That's what GameStop does. They walk over and they're like, "Oh, you want that Captain Carter GameStop exclusive? There's that damage on the shelf. I'm going to grab that, throw in a box. Bam, it's on its way." It's completely up to the discretion that the employee doesn't give a shit if it's like good condition, bad condition. They just see product, grab it, box, ship. And then if you get somebody like we've witnessed where they take the extra TLC to do it, like they still don't look at that level of quality. They just say, "Oh, good condition, product, box, ship." But I'm going to put a little extra care in it because I don't want to get obliterated in transit, right? Warehouse is just all automated, or whatever it is that they do. They don't care. They just take the biggest box that's available and throw it in there if it's a tin can, whatever. So yeah, that doesn't shock me one bit what you're explaining.
But I was just like, and like at the end of the day, both copies were fine. Like there was no box damage on either one of them.
I mean, it's possible, yeah.
But no, well, I'm telling you, it's. But like these box, like I don't know where these GameStop employees, whether warehouse or store, these were the weirdest oblong, long ass box. I'm like, it's a 2-pack.
It's all leftovers.
Yeah, well, it was weird.
They use whatever I've seen what they received from their warehouse for like launch days for convention. Like I was there the day they had the 2-packs for that Galvatron launch.
Right.
2 different GameStops, mind you. Both of them had them. They pulled one box fresh off the pallet, opened it up, and they were all crushed. They were already crushed from transit. And it was a mint box. You're like, what the? Somebody just, why? And then the other store was like, yeah, we just crammed them in this drawer. I'm like, wait, what? And they literally shoved all of them into a drawer of the size of, 3 12-packs wide.
No.
And just crushed,
No.
And so again, that whether it's shipping or it's a failure at all levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
To your point about the box, like when you buy the pop protector, stuff like that, and Walmart and all that thing, imagine being me and I bought a Funko from Funko.com.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to imagine.
Yeah, nobody wants to imagine. And I bought the gift box for $3, thinking, wow, this will be a great fucking gift. It'll come in a nice little blue box. It'll have extra protection on it. Let me order 3 more of those and put them on all my pops.
Mm-hmm.
They shipped me the fucking package.
Mm-hmm.
And they shipped me the gift boxes inside the box.
Mm-hmm.
But the pops were in their own protectors of sorter type.
Okay.
Meanwhile, gift boxes were conveniently in the same box, bouncing around, doing these shenanigans. So I paid $9. I got the refund, but I paid $9 for basically to have 3 other boxes slam into the other boxes in transit. At what point, like, again, to your, like, with drop and all these other, like, you give me the option to buy something, I would expect that to be put on the pop before it's shipped.
Yeah. And my other thing is, one of the reasons why I don't like the NFTs is, and I don't like the headache of the NFTs, and I don't like the headache of chase hunting. If I want the chase, let me just buy this goes to my point of going on to lovely auctions, onto whatnot, and buying from people that I know, because I know that they'll say, oh, well, we've opened these sodas. These are the chases. Obviously, as long as you bid enough, you could win it, kind of thing. At least in that aspect, I know, as long as I check my budget, I know I could potentially get a chase, which is fine.
Right.
But the whole chase hunt in itself, it's like, no, I want to buy what I want. I don't want to have to purchase something for the potential. This goes to more of the NFT. I don't want to have to purchase a digital thing for a potential chance at getting a physical thing. I want the physical thing, damn it.
Yeah, makes sense. And you can still buy the physical thing, whether it's secondary market or buy the redemption coin or whatever it is to put the set together. But
most people would say that because of that point, that my argument is mute.
Well, no, you have a valid point. It's just not your cup of tea. You'd rather wait till the pops are in hand with somebody else and do all the vetting like you're talking about there.
Yeah.
To do your diligence. I am taking a step prior to that and saying, well, I'll be the one that redeems it, and may someone have mercy on my soul, if they show up in good condition, right? But I'd rather do that than to worry about GameStop shipping or anything of that nature,
True.
And
honestly,
when you could legitimately hunt for things in person because you knew the quality of them too. That was nice.
Yeah.
I just like
right. You knew the potential. So again, let's just say I know it used to be 1 in 36, but let's just go with the 1 in 6 because that's just easier. It's better math. But 1 in 6 chases. Okay, sodas you're not going to know because it's sodas, but pops you'll know because of that giant yellow sticker that's on the box. So if you're at Hot Topic, let's just use Hot Topic because I'm kind of getting an aneurysm talking about GameStop, bastards. The store, not the employees are bastards. The store is the bastard, not the employees. You go into Hot Topic, you see, I don't know, Spirit Spengler, and let's say Spirit Spengler has a to borrow a Star Wars term, holographic chase. Then, you can root through the boxes to see if there's any chases. You can, and calmly, I'm not saying, go in there like a bear and just kind of just take your claw and just rip all the other. No, you go in there respectfully. You want to look for the chase. You pick one up. You pick another one up if it isn't. You keep hunting for that. That is fine. That is absolutely fine. If stores say they have, I don't know, 40 chases of whichever figure it is, that means as long as you get there when they first open, because usually that's what you have to do.
Right.
You have a potentiality of potentially getting one of those chases. You just have to find it in the store. That is fine. But I was surprised. I'm glad this happened, but I was surprised. I got lucky. I purchased, what did I purchase? 5 or 6? I forget. I have a bunch of extra of the flying Batman Beyond around here somewhere. I forget where he's flying around at. But when they were doing the flying Batman Beyond, because it was a Zavvi exclusive at first, and thankfully Zavvi went the hell out of business. We don't need that company anymore. Well, they finally switched it over to the Funko shop. And while I love the flying Batman Beyond, and I do have it now, because I am pretty much Batman Beyond complete, except for one 8.5 graded red eyes that somebody has. That's a whole other.
Well, and a 9 metallic.
Whatever, same thing.
Well, I've got both now.
Yeah, same thing. But the point is, I went and they said, if you buy whatever, I don't know, I think it's 6. So you buy a case, essentially, you have I was shocked that I got the invisible chase from Batman Beyond, which is great because there's only a few times that the very, very clear chases make sense to me is if you're referencing something. Anyone that's seen Batman Beyond knows if Terry does a little dial thing on his belt, he can go into camouflage mode, and he basically blends into whatever background he is. So he's kind of very translucent, which makes sense for that chase. Same thing with John Cena with the "You Can't See Me" and the invisible Amazon, which again that makes sense because you can't see him, kind of thing. I get it, but yeah, I mean. I don't mind doing a little hunting, but I don't want to have to work my ass off for the potential of getting something.
Right.
I don't mind working my ass off to get something. That's a whole other story, whole other podcast down the road somewhere.
You don't like the gambling aspect.
Yeah, no. Don't like the... The last time I did anything with gambling was 2001 at Treasure Bay Casino in Biloxi, Mississippi, or was it Gulfport? I forget if it was Biloxi or Gulfport. My ex will remember. She knows. So yeah, but GameStop, you suck.
That's the summation of this last hour and a half. GameStop sucks.
Yeah, GameStop, you suck.
And drops coming into the close second.
Yeah. And I can't with that whole process. You have to put your actual money into being digital money, and you have to wax your wallet, and you have to this and you have to that. It's like, I feel like Raphael when Mikey said, wax on, wax off. Raph said back to him, wax on, mouth off. Like,
It's
like, how what?
I was going to say, it's not for everybody, but when it works, it works. But I think the good news is that if they continue on this path, those NFTs are going to be super cheap and more accessible to a lot more people. Maybe they'll just start freaking making, like, what I'd like to see is where you go in and you actually pre-order it, and you get away from the digital NFT aspect of it, and you, like Jason Kels, you go in and you say, I want that, and I buy the whole set, and then you buy it, and they make it, and it's like Kickstarter, and then that way the piece counts are set, and you can't F it up, and then there you go, right? And then you also can replace, if need be, on demand and destroy the others. I think that's where they kind of meet you in the middle, right? If they were smart about it, but you know.
Man, let me tell you, the rewards, because again, it's guaranteed rewards. It's not gambling. You just pick your, like, I've backed, I think, since 2019, I've backed probably 6 different Kickstarter campaigns over the years, and only one of them didn't get funded, but they reran it and it got funded. You know, but you get cool shit. You know, Boom Studios for the comics, they did a whole, I didn't contribute to this one, unfortunately, I couldn't do that at the time, but they did a whole Power Rangers special thing for the 30th anniversary kind of thing. And they did this whole, like, what was it? The Keanu Reeves Berserker comic book was a Kickstarter prize. Fine. Hey, great. I'll gladly, you know, give you $10, $12 if it's something specific, if it's a tier that's specifically special that gets me a whatever. I think when I backed the Cybertronic Spree Ravage project, it was, I don't know, $20 or $30 to get the USB and the CD and the poster or whatever the hell it was. Like, yeah, no, I don't mind doing that because at least I know I'm getting something. Right. So yeah, I would love it if Funko would do. They probably wouldn't know how to fuck do it, but
Kickstarter soon.
Yeah, they may do Kickstarter soon if they can get on this path. Although I will say, you'll be very pleased to hear, not necessarily a good rant. Remember, the last time we spoke, you asked me, like, you know, the fuck kind of project would you do if you had unlimited resources and you would make a Funko of your size? I said, I want Gundam. They're actually making freaking Gundam pops. They got the license for Gundam.
They got the license for... Oh, wow.
They got the license for... And they're starting with the RX whatever from the original Gundam. So somebody out there is listening and said, you know what? That's a genius fucking idea. Let's make Gundam pops. So we're gonna get Gundam.
Rant, I also heard they are going to make an Ellie one, too. So my rant is also complete.
Yeah.
Hooray!
I mean, I don't mind her being in the 2-packs. That's fine. It's not a problem. I guess. I don't know. Too many Carls, though. Too many different Carls.
There is another Carl coming for the Ed Asner Foundation that I will invest in.
Yeah. Well, okay. In that case, yes. And that's a pop that people would want.
But you fuck right off with that sequel.
Wait, what? Okay, we may have to talk about that off air because I haven't heard of. Oh boy, now I got to do research.
Oh, you didn't know they made so yeah, and it's probably GameStop's fault too since they're in bed with AMC. They made a sequel to Up, and it was like a short film for Carl going on a date after Ellie passed.
Oh, that's right.
They can go fuck themselves. Carl is Carl, and Ellie is Ellie. You don't mess with that ecosystem, right? Do all the movies you want with Doug. Do whatever you want to do with Kevin in the house or whatever, but you don't touch the characters. Thankfully, this new pop that's coming out is a tribute to Ed Asner as far as the foundation and everything else. But if it was a pop for that new movie, I would buy it and burn it. There'd be one less on the market, you know.
So we have Batman the Animated Series. We have Batman Beyond pops. We kind of sort of have Justice League, but not DCAU. Can you imagine a Superman the Animated Series pop line with a Granny Goodness going to the Ed Asner Foundation because Ed Asner was the voice of Granny Goodness in Superman the Animated Series?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Okay, that cool.
Would be amazing.
I'm down with that. I watched the Flash movie last night too, and I was just they completely wasted a perfectly good plot line. Like once you get past Ezra Miller, everything else like wasn't too shabby, you know. But such a missed opportunity, and just again all GameStop's fault because they have their hands in everything. So
Yep.
It's starting to make it sound like the Colonel from KFC Conspiracy.
With his wee beady eyes.
Oh my God. I'm having shades of Mario Lopez in my head from 2019. Ow. And that was only a 5-minute short.
Well, what else you want to rant about, Mike, or if we exhausted all the...
Recipe for seduction, my ass. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, folks, toy collecting. Be responsible. We're going to an ad break. We'll be right back right after this.
Like science fiction? Of course you do, or you wouldn't be listening to the Geekcast Radio Network. Well, the Mark 42's Universe podcast is an award-winning sci-fi radio show that's been around for over 10 years. We cover everything from Doctor Who to the MCU to pop culture and everything in between. A new show drops on Tuesday mornings on the GCRN website and all of the major podcast platforms. So listen to the Mark 42's Universe podcast from the universe and beyond.
What was that universal greeting again? Never mind, I remember.
Ba weep grana, weep nitty bong.
Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal, and be sure to check out my YouTube channel. Join me as I have Transformers discussions, retrospectives, toy reviews, and more. You can also follow me on Twitter at Rodimus Primal, as well as Facebook and Instagram at Rodimus Primal Show. Transform and roll out, and be sure to check out my content till all are one.
Last big party of the summer, folks. Let's go out with a bang.
On the Simplistic Reviews podcast, we talk movies. We talk TV. We talk...
Hello, Julie, what the heck are you doing?
Trying to make our spots sound more exciting by adding explosions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have got the point across with sound effects, not the real thing.
Download the show on iTunes or at simplisticreviews.blogspot.com.
I'm sure your insurance company will cover that.
No, they won't.
No, they probably won't.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us here in episode 193 of Toycast. We hope you enjoyed this Toycast rant session, and it went beyond toys and things like that, but that's just the way rants go around here. We are tangentially yours at the Geekcast Radio Network. Anything that you lovely people would like to promote, like your Whatnot auctions and things like that?
GameStop is the Pentaveric.
It's like Mama always said, GameStop is the devil.
No, we're actually working on a very nice mystery box for Whatnot. We're still streaming on Wednesdays, like 7:30 Pacific, roughly, but we've taken a step back the last couple weeks, so we've got a nice mystery box of stuff that we're working on. The Instagram is still valid. We're posting most of our updates there, but that, it's just, we're just kind of hanging out and having fun, and fuck GameStop.
Random fun is our new tag.
Yeah, random fun.
Yeah.
Seems
you want to read what you wrote on Instagram for that post? Because I saw part of it. I saw a sidekick at the end. I'm like, don't kick me.
I think it was something about thank you for being by my side, kick, like it was a play on words.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was very wholesome.
Sure it was.
But we've got a new logo now, which is nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm waiting for one of those stickers, damn it.
I've got a wizard hat too.
Out of my hat and decorate it, so you get to see that too.
Yeah, you're a wizard, Harry. Who gives a shit? All right, well, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Toycast. If you'd like to get in contact with us, leave feedback for the show, there are several ways to do so. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can listen to and comment on all of our content. Send an email to feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can check us out on any of the podcatching clients you choose to use. I prefer Spotify, but that's just me. Follow us on all of our social media profiles. It's either TF Toycast on Twix or Toycast over on Facebook. Next time on Toycast, I don't know. It's episode 194. That's all I know. I have no plans. So, for now, I am TF2 and Mike with...
someone who's no longer pissed at GameStop for the time being.
And I'm still running a pet studio, aka Emily.
Join us next time when we'll be talking more toys here on Toycast. Remember, folks, remember Batman's advice.
Block it out and power on through.